Yeah. Yeah. It's your player partner EyeQ, man. I'm back, man, with another reaction, man. This time we got Adam22 and Bandy Pound talking about how easy it is to get a life sentence in Virginia. Let's get into it.
Damn,
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah.
And you went in 87?
I went in 87, got out in 2020.
Right. So you ended up doing, what was it, 37 years in total?
33.
33 years
33 years
in total.
in total. Straight first time in 33 years.
Okay, let's talk about everything that happened before you ended up going in first, just to cover that terrain. Okay, you're from where?
I'm from D.C., but I lived in Virginia and D.C.
Okay. How would you describe your upbringing, your childhood?
Oh, man, I had a great upbringing, in the city in D.C., though, it's rough, but it's natural to us because that's where we from. So everything that may look rough coming from the outside is just natural to us, man. I was into sports, played football, boxed, it was great.
Both parents or?
No, just one.
Okay.
That's my mother.
Okay. And so would you say that you were exposed to the streets early on, or when did you start to realize that there was people out here doing bad stuff?
Oh, I realized that early, but I didn't participate till I got, in teenage years or whatnot like that, because like I say, you can be around the stuff, but you don't really get involved in it. So I ain't really get involved, man, till, late in high school, man. I got to dealing with a dude that came down from New York, and I got to running with him, and the next thing you know, we out there pulling capers.
How did he approach you? Because it often occurs to me that I'm very thankful that I didn't meet somebody who could fully put me on to all of the illegal deeds that you could do out there in the world, because if you get put onto that at a young age, a lot of times you don't really have the faculties to say.
And I want to say this too before they go any further, and this already seems dope. So all my young niggas out there, bro, don't follow behind no nigga, bro. Do your own thing, man. I ain't saying do crime, but definitely don't be participating doing shit with nobody else trying to follow and be like nobody. I don't give a fuck who they are. Excuse me. It's not worth it, man. Being a follower will get you in a very bad position, getting killed, going to jail and all that. Let's see what he's saying. Maybe he about to go on to elaborate.
They know or understand what you're getting into.
Yeah, it's like a drug. It's like a drug because once you do something, you get some money that you assume is free, but it's never free money.
Right.
Then you think that when I'm broke, I can do this again. So it becomes an addiction. But it was like we used to hang out in Georgetown or whatnot, and we used to catch the train, back and forth, or either the metro. And we was just out there one night and we ain't had no money to catch the metro back. And he was like, man, we can just rob somebody. All these dudes out here, the pimps out there, everybody out there. So I said, man, you crazy. We ain't gonna rob nobody. So he was more or less like, man, I said, man, we don't even got a gun. He was like, you don't need no gun. You act like you got a gun, they gonna give you the money, man. Don't nobody wanna get shot.
That is some old school mentality shit. You don't need a gun. Nowadays, you better have a gun. Nigga gonna blow your motherfucking head off because everybody's scrap nowadays. The victims and all, nigga, no cap. That's crazy. That's some old school shit for you.
So I'm like, man, you tripping. And sure enough, he said, watch me. He went and did it. He got the money. He bought me some. He gapped it with it. We got on the metro, went home. That's how I started.
Who'd he rob? Just a random person?
Yeah, just a random person. But he'd be out there with the pimps and the prostitutes and everybody be out there. So it could have been a pimp, but he looked broke, but he had some money, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, he just pulled up on him, acted like he had a gun, told him to give it up. He gave it up.
Right.
And that was it.
And so then you started doing this as well?
Yeah, I started doing it with him.
Okay.
I started doing it with him.
And this was just your day-to-day hustle? You weren't doing anything else?
Nah, we was still in school.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We were still in school, so it was more or less on the weekends when we go up there or something, then that became our pastime. And then he ended up getting towed off. He ended up getting caught. So when he got caught, his stepfather ain't gonna get along with him anyway, so they shipped him back to New York. So when he went back to New York, then I was there by myself.
All my Richmond niggas, y'all heard? All my VA niggas, you heard them say toe off. I think I mentioned toe off in one of my Richmond slang videos. Like I said, toe off means, you see what he said? That means get locked up, get in trouble. You got toe off, you got toe. The proper way that people would say it with tore off, but we say toe, you got toe off.
So I just left it alone. But then got broke, started doing it again. You know, I ended up in Virginia because a lot of my family lived in Virginia. Used to come down in the summertime all the time, so I ended up in Virginia. Hooked up with another dude in Virginia, was doing the same thing. We ended up pulling a robbery. Somebody lost their life. Boom.
And so, okay, but you were running around without a gun doing the majority of these robberies?
Yeah, and see, the crazy part about it is, this is what I be trying to educate dudes about on my platform. Like, the crazy part about it is, a lot of people don't even know, we was robbing people, first of all, with a gun at first with no bullets in it. Just, you know what I'm saying? So if anybody would have bucked back, we'd have been dead.
Right.
You know, that's number one. And number two, like I said, a lot of people don't even know you could point a gun at somebody and, you know, demand their money, and you can get life. You get life in Virginia. I don't know if it's like that anywhere else. You can get life for just taking money from somebody at gunpoint without shooting them, without hurting them, without doing anything. That's life.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's life.
So,
That's a fact, man. That was something I had learned in going through my case in prison and shit. Well, it was in jail when I learned it, because I had met this cat in jail, and I was in for armed robbery too, but I was still fighting the case and going. I wasn't in prison yet. I didn't get convicted yet, but I met this other cat, and I think he just strong arm robbed. He just took, like, yanked something from somebody. Now, I don't know if it was an old lady or he mugged the lady, but they gave that nigga like a year and a half just for fucking not even using a weapon, just for like taking some shit. He ain't punched a person. I remember it was some little goofy nigga, but I was like, nigga, what? They gave you a year for that? So I started thinking I'm in trouble. I'm like, man, I had a gun. My shit was a little bit more intense. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh man, I'm in trouble. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, bro, you don't need. He right. In Virginia, that's why I got my Virginia hat on too. Just, you know, but in Virginia, it's called circumstantial evidence, and we have a thing. It's the Commonwealth. Circumstantial is if it just looks like you were there. This person said you was there. We found a footprint because you got caught in Jordans, which everybody in the world got Jordans. But just if it look, they piece together shit. All right, guilty. They don't even gotta have you actually there. No video of you doing it. They don't even gotta have nobody saying they seen you do it. Long as the circumstances seem like you did it. You see what I'm saying?
And you probably hadn't even occurred to you, I'm assuming, that anything could happen to you from this, or you thought you might get locked up for a very brief stint if you did get caught?
Yeah, I explain it to people like this. It's kind of hard for people to understand, but when you really put it in context, you will be able to understand. It's like when you that age and you young, you like an older teenager, 17, 18, you know what you're doing is wrong.
Right.
You know you could get in trouble, but you don't know the consequence. Because every trouble you got in prior to that, you've been able to get out of, either by mom or family or something. So that's what you're thinking in your mind. And you don't know the consequences. Like I said, a lot of people don't know you point a gun at somebody, you can get life.
Right.
So you're thinking that, well, yeah, I could get in trouble if I get caught. And number one, you thinking you ain't gonna get caught, but you thinking if you do, you can get up out of it. That's not the case, man.
So what happened in this actual incident where the guy lost his life?
It was a robbery. You know what I'm saying? They demanded the money. I left up out there. They was arguing, left up out there, pulled the trigger. Later on, that person died. They didn't even have us locked up for the crime. They had somebody else locked up for the crime like months later. He got scared or whatever. He felt like his name had came up. He went to the people and told the people that it wasn't the people that was locked up. It was him and me. He put all the blame on me.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? I ended up getting 2 life sentences, 115 years.
And so you didn't even pull the trigger?
No.
Wow, you just were with him? And
I was with him.
But you weren't even
Bro,
like...
no cap, bro. They gave me 19 years, bro. Luckily, they suspended. I'm pretty sure they suspended a lot of his because he said he did 33 if he got 100-something years. But he probably made parole. But yeah, bro, they had enough time in Virginia for that shit, bro. VA do not fucking play. You go to VA on that bullshit, your ass gonna be under the jail, no cap.
Physically there?
I was physically there, but when the altercation occurred, I left because there was too much conversation going on. Instead of, taking the money, leave, it was too much conversation going on. So I left. He ended up getting nervous or whatever happened, transaction between them, and he pulled the trigger, he left up out.
Right.
Months later, like I say, they got somebody else locked up for the crime. He turns himself in, he implicates me, they come pick me up. He testified against me, he said he was there, he didn't pull the trigger, I did. Being he's cooperating, I tell him I don't know nothing, I wasn't there. I stuck to my story. They felt like I was trying to be hard. 2 life sentences, 115
So you didn't
years.
tell on yourself at all, which is a lot of times that's the thing that young people do when they get caught up is they just start talking and they fucking air themselves out.
Yeah,
make it easy on
they
them.
threatened me with everything. I told them, they told me you gonna get the lecture chair, so I don't know nothing. I didn't do it, and that was what I stuck to. So in their eyes, I'm being hard, So boom, they lit me up.
Did you get a lawyer? Or you have a public defender?
I had a lawyer and a public defender. Both of them probably together was worth 5 cents.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They ain't do nothing. They lied to me. When I actually did get the time, I ended up having to take a plea bargain because at the time that I was going to trial, Virginia was implementing a new law, and it was called a 3-strike law.
Right.
And they were saying if you had 3 charges of the same caliber, then you would be not eligible for parole, no matter how much time you got. So if you had 90 years, you ain't eligible for parole. You had to do 85% of that. So, you know, I had already went to trial for the murder. They had already gave me 105 years. So now I'm going to trial for the robbery. So it's more, they charge you with more than 1 robbery. So if I get convicted of either one of them, I already got 100-some years. I never get out of prison.
Holy shit.
So I ended up having to take the plea bargain to get out of prison. And the plea bargain was the 2 life sentence. But they was telling me, this is what the lawyer told me, it will all encompass itself. And in Virginia, anything over 45 years, if you got anything over 45 years, you go up for parole in 12 years anyway. You're parole eligible. He was saying it's your first time, you've never been in trouble. You go in, you keep your nose clean, man, you'll make first parole. Go ahead, take the plea bargain, it's the best thing for you. If not, you're gonna end up getting no parole. Crazy. I took the plea bargain, listened to him, took advice from my lawyer. I never even went up for parole, number 1, for 18 years, so that was a lie.
Okay.
First time I ever went up was 18 years. Second thing is, 30-some years later, they just finding out that Virginia misapplied the law.
Wow.
The law was not even intended to be that way. The law was if you get 3 felonies and you go to prison for a felony and you come out, you get enough, you go to prison 3 times. They was applying it for all of these years that if you had 3 charges, you had 3 robbery charges, they was giving you that putting you up under that law. So you got dudes that's getting out of prison now that's been in there for 20, 25 years plus under a fake law.
Right.
Wow.
You know so
Wow. I told y'all about Virginia, bro. You see this shit, bro? We the first ever state. Virginia's where slavery started. We are the first state to start the United. You see how these niggas play? You see that, right? Take a nigga life, you can't give a nigga all his life back, his time back. You can pay him, but still.
in essence, I took the plea bargain for something that didn't even exist.
So you thought you were about to do 12 years?
I thought I was about to
Which
do
is,
12 years.
as an 18-year-old, was it approximately 18?
20. I had just turned 20, yeah.
12 years sounds like a fucking eternity because you can't imagine being
definitely
32, right?
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth because that's what I was saying to myself. I said, man, I'm 12 years, man. I'll be 30-something. I'll be old as I don't know what.
But they still convinced you to take it.
They still convinced me to take it. They said, well, you would rather have that or never get out at all.
Wow.
So, you looking at that and it's really no choice. You see what I'm saying? Your back is against the wall. So
right.
I took it. I didn't go up for parole for 18 years and didn't make it till after I did 33.
How would you describe the way that your mind felt? Or
man, that's what I'm talking about, y'all. Like, I be telling my young niggas, bro, like, y'all heard what he said. He an OG, he older than me, no cap. Like, it ain't worth it, man. See, I got a Virginia on my hat, man. I got it on my hand, my arm. I'm a real Virginia nigga, man. I'll let you know, man. That shit ain't worth it, bro. Take it from the homie, bro. They will lock you up. Any state, really. But the Commonwealth state, y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Like, comment, subscribe. Y'all got any information about that? You know anything about that? Put it in the comments. Love y'all, gang.